Yes, good day. Today is Friday, December the 4th, and today we're continuing our discussion of the Enlightenment and science, age of science and the age of reason. And see, the whole root of the Enlightenment, the whole idea is that the Enlightenment believes that everything in the universe can be squared with reason and logic, can be explained according to scientific principles. You must be able to prove everything empirically. The word empirically means you through experimentation. And if you can't prove it through experimentation, then it doesn't exist. And which leads us to theism. Actually, it's one of the weaknesses of the entire Enlightenment ideology, and that is this. You see, there are certain elements of the human existence that simply do not square with logic, such as love, such as hate, vengeance. I mean, it the idea of placing your own welfare, well-being, safety in jeopardy for the comfort, safety, and well-being of another person, which is actually the definition of love, is not logical. There's no logic to it. Nor is vengeance. For example, let's pretend that you go out and kill Bambi's mom. When Bambi grows up, Bambi doesn't try to kill you. In nature, in fact, that doesn't happen anywhere in nature. The in the animal kingdom, when the predator attacks one member of a herd, sometimes the herd will try to save that one creature, but they will not put their own lives at risk to do it. Even in nature, the mothers of creatures, if that mother of a creature, in facing down a predator, decides that if I defend my offspring, then I will forfeit my life, the mother will back away. Human beings are known for doing exactly the opposite, placing their own lives in harm's way, oftentimes knowing that they will face and death and receive death for the sake of someone else. It's not logical, and yet it is quite true. So the point I'm making here is everything doesn't square with logic, which leads us to religion. How do you square religion, religious faith, with logic? In fact, if you look at the word faith, now I don't know how many of you all go to church regularly, read the Bible regularly, but the definition of faith, and I like to refer to the Apostle Paul, and please don't go home and say, Mom is wanting preaching and trying to convert me. No, but this is a good definition of faith. What is faith? Faith is the evidence of things not seen. That's from 1 Corinthians. The Apostle Paul said that. The evidence of things not seen. Now imagine you're an attorney. You're standing in court, in front of a judge, in front of a jury. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I can prove my case. And here is the proof. And you point at nothing. Right there. Nothing. Will you win your case? Answer no. You see, that's faith. The evidence of things not seen. And so, how do you square logic with religious faith? Well, see, now the Enlightenment thinkers had this covered. The Enlightenment thinkers looked at the universe, and to them, the universe made sense. It was making sense. I mean, all the planets revolve around the sun. And it's all exact. Every year, 365 and a quarter days per year, Earth revolves around the sun, and all the other planets have their own rotations. That every year on this planet there is winter, summer, spring, and fall. That the lions eat the antelope, and then the lions die and become the grass, and the antelope eats the grass, circle of life symbol, and all these things work in marvelous harmony. You know, predators eat creatures, and all just, it's a wonderful machine. Now, the Enlightenment thinkers looked at that and said, now, such a wonderful machine must have a creator. The term they used was a supreme being. And here is the theory they came up with. It's called Deism. The idea that this supreme being created the universe with all the mechanizations, the sun, the earth revolves around the sun, the moon revolves around the earth, seasons come and go, lions eat the antelope, lions become the grass, antelope eats the grass, circle of life symbol, and all these things working in perfect harmony. And God, or not God, but the supreme being created that wonderful machine. Like if you've ever looked at an old-fashioned clock, a pendulum clock, or perhaps a clock you have to wind up, or perhaps the inner workings of one of those giant clocks like Big Ben in London. You've seen pictures of the inner workings of them. And they say that the Supreme Being created the universe like a clockmaker makes his clock. After the clock is made, with all the wheels and the pulleys and the levers and those kind of things, he winds it up, sets it down, walks away, and the clock runs. And after that, the clockmaker has nothing to do with the workings of the clock. That is called the clockmaker theory of the universe. And that is the theory that deists adhered to. And so, yes, it's a very pertinent theory. It was the theory of religion of the Enlightenment. And, I'm not going to sit there and expect you to accept or reject that theory, but it was a theory that, well, here's what you probably don't know. You do know some very famous deists. You do know them. Oh, let me see. You say, no, I don't. No, of course you do. How about Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Paine? How about, now we're going to study about John Locke one day. But a lot of those guys, Patrick Henry, were deists. In fact, Thomas Jefferson, who's that guy? Well, let's see, third president of the United States, author of the Declaration plagiarizer of the Declaration of Independence, founder of the University of Virginia. Benjamin Franklin discovered electricity. Yeah, Thomas Jefferson was such an ardent deist. Thomas Jefferson actually wanted all references to God taken out of all government documents. Thomas Jefferson was such an ardent deist that, and Thomas Jefferson was a voracious reader, and he read the Bible from one end to the other, and he kept his own Bible. And what he would do as he read the Bible, and if he came across something in the Bible that, like, for example, Jesus feeding the 5,000 with three loaves and 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, or, for example, Moses parting the Red Sea, or, for example, the prophet Elisha calling down lightning from the heavens to consume a sacrifice in front of the 450 prophets of Baal. Things that did not make sense, could not be squared with logic. Anytime Thomas Jefferson saw those, he would take out his scissors and he would cut the passage from the Bible, throw it away. Me, I wonder how much Bible he had left when he was finished. Because it couldn't be a lot. I mean, come on. How was Jesus born? His mother Mary never had sex. How's that possible? logically. And so, yeah, the very basis of Christianity that, remember, Jesus died on the cross, 3 days later comes back to life, lives forever and ever. How logical is that? And Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin formed a group called the Hellfire Club. You might have seen him on the national section of the quiz. Yeah, the Hellfire Club was this group of his buddies in Philadelphia, and when everybody else was going to church on a Sunday morning, he knew a tavern master, innkeeper, and he went down there and would drink alcohol along with his buddies and talk about ideas, talk about theories. Now, here's your question: why don't you know about the fact that Thomas Jefferson was a deist, that he cut his Bible to pieces, that he kept a woman named Sally Hennings a slave and regularly raped her? And, oh, that's another subject. But yeah, why don't you know that? And of course, if you really think about it, the answer is because the American government, state of Kentucky, wants you to learn your history, not so much for accuracy, although it's important, but to make you feel proud of your country. And if a person knows that uh, the founding fathers were deists and, kind of blew off traditional Judeo-Christian ideas, yeah, that might not be good. But yeah, that's deism. Okay, let's now look and quickly learn some other guys for your test before we move on. All right, this guy, say these words. I'll give you a second to pull this up. Yeah, I mean, you should keep this handy. This is a good study guide. All right. Inventors. Zacharias Janssen invented the microscope. And Anton von Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch inventor, was the first person to see bacteria under a microscope. Evangelista Torricelli invented the barometer. Barometers, as you know, are the single most important tools for weather forecasting because the barometers measure air pressure. Do you know air had pressure? How much pressure? Air, no, it's how much does air weigh? Yeah, how much does air weigh? The answer is 14.7 pounds per square foot. 14.7 pounds of pressure per square foot. Now, why don't you feel 14.7 pounds of pressure per square foot? That's at sea level, by the way. If you go further and further up, there's not 14.7 pounds of pressure. That's why, for example, when you get in an airplane and you take off and you start to climb very rapidly, what happens? Your ears pop and you go, oh my God, chew gum. But yes, he invented the barometer. Gabriel Fahrenheit, but you can't guess what he invented, or Anders Celsius, methods of measuring temperature, just on different scales. Celsius' scale was based on the boiling point of water. Yes, the boiling and freezing point of water. 0 freezing, 100 boiling. Once again, what did Galen assume about circulation of the human body? Galen did not assume anything about the circulation. He believed that the body ate the blood, consumed it. Andreas Vesalius wrote a book, The Structure of the Human Body. Oh, and look, Edward Jenner and his smallpox. The Enlightenment, once again, was an intellectual movement that attempted to square all fields of inquiry Okay, look at that. And so, Age of Reason. The Age of Reason, by the way, begins 1687 with the publication of Isaac Newton's theory of universal gravitation to 1789, the beginning of the French Revolution. The idea that human knowledge and reason could be applied to many fields of endeavor, such as government, religion, education, society, and economics. All right. We need to know about Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, and this will be the last thing we cover today. So, what if Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, who never met, sat down and had a conversation? So, let's talk about these guys. Thomas Hobbes wrote a book called Leviathan. And Leviathan, the synopsis of that book was that without the strong rule of the state, life would be nasty, brutish, and short. It's a philosophy that basically says that human beings are stupid cattle and need someone to tell them what to do. Yeah. On the other hand, and his view of the social contract was that there exists between man and his government. Did I spell that right? Government. A contract. Men are bound to obey the law, and the government is bound to protect its citizens from foreign enemies, to each other, and nothing else. All right, John Locke said, I like this. I like John Locke. John Locke is my hero. That all men are endowed by their creator with certain natural rights that chiefly these are life, liberty, and property. Right here. The job of is to protect its citizen from foreign enemies, to other free. The Okay. All right. Let's end there for today. I think that's good. But yes, so now we know what deism is. We know who all these inventors are, and yes, we've discussed Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. And so yes, we will stop there. Today is the last day for turning in that homework, that matching assignment homework. When you do that, please take your time. I've had some very good grades on that, but also some grades that have been less than what I think is worthwhile. So, yes, I'm going to go now. Thank you all.